So, welcome to the Protea Pulse, where we talk all things Proteas and SA cricket, raw, real, and unfiltered. So, I'm your host, David. So, we actually finally did it. We won an ICC trophy. And to make things extra sweet, we won it with a whole day and a half to spare against our friendly foe, the Australians. So, yeah, this was a big occasion, especially since righting the wrongs of the past, from the days of losing the 99 World Cup with that dreadful run out. We've come a long way as a team, and we just want to really dissect how we actually did this. So let's look back. So when we look back, actually, we see that the road to the final from 2023 to 2025, we started the cycle with playing India at home, and the first test, I think we won pretty convincingly, I think with more than an innings, and then the second test we lost with Bumrah being the star, and so that basically we had a draw because we only play 2-match series. I mean, who does that in 2025? But I guess hopefully things will change. We'll get to that in another video. And so after the India test match, then we started the Betway SA 20 in January. This decision was kind of like very bizarre, but I understood, with the amount of sponsors and viewership that the SA20 gets, it's still growing, so it kind of took precedence over sending the strongest test team to New Zealand to play that test. However, I think they tried, it was a valiant effort, but nothing really came of that. I think Bedingham did play. I think he's probably the only guy in the first team that actually, went down to play the tests. But I think the rest of the guys, it wasn't a good performance. Let me just put it that way. They tried, but it wasn't a good performance. And then it was followed by a test series in West Indies. I think the first test there was a draw, and then the second test we won, and I think we won it convincingly. And I think we won that series pretty well. And then we went away to play Bangladesh, and we actually did very well. The seamers did very well. I think I remember Akaheso taking 2 fifers in those matches, which was pretty. I think it was pretty odd, since we all think the subcontinent pitches prefer. I mean, we think that the subcontinent usually is more kind to spinners than seamers, so it was really odd seeing that. But the guys have big talent, so it was actually very pleasing to the eye to see them do very well in the subcontinent. And then we got a test with Sri Lanka at home. It was very nice to watch because we had to avenge the previous loss that Sri Lanka impounded on us. So it was very satisfying to see them win that test series very convincingly. And then it was followed by the Pakistan test, which also the first test we won pretty well, and then the second one was it was like edge of the seat stuff. Kagiso had to become prime Gilchrist to make things happen, and so following all those matches, we finally made it to the final. I know there were big naysayers. Michael Vaughan had lots to say about it, and I'm sure his sentiments were echoed by other people as well. But I'm glad we got to the final and we actually won it. So the question is, how did we actually win this World Test Championship final? Let's break it down. So actually, when we look at the team selection, let's start there, looking at the team selection. When we look at what the Australians brought, so Usman Khawaja, very good batsman, Labus Khachni, also a great batsman, Cameron Green was the all-rounder, Steve Smith, Travis Head, and Bo Webster. Bo Webster was very interesting to watch. I think he navigated that first innings very, very well, actually. Very interesting one to watch. I think he's gonna be one to watch in the future, I think. And then Alex Carey, so wicket-keeper batsman. Pat Cummins, congratulations to him on his 300 wickets. Premium fast bowler. And Mitchell Starc, the most dangerous one of them all, with that outswingers and in-swingers. Yeah, we all love some Mitchell Starc on a good day. And then Nathan Lyon, and then Josh Hazelwood. And then looking at our team, so we had Markram as opening with Ryan Rickleton. We had Stubbs, Bavuma, Bedingham, Varian, Mulder, Marco Jansen, Keshav Maharaj, the beast himself, Kagiso, Rabada, and then Lungin Kidi. I remember, when the test team was announced, there was this hoo-ha about Lungin Gidi versus Dane Patterson, who was the right person to pick. I think in the end, Shukri Conrad was very pleased, I think, with the outcome of the selection. I think Lungi actually paid the faith of the coach and the staff by taking cricket at really crucial moments. So we can see that the first innings of Australia was 212 after Temba won the toss and put them into bat. I thought that was a very good decision, considering our bowling attack. So we got them all out for 212 and Kagiso took a fifer. And then in reply, we got like 138, which was it was very dismal, big stage, tested Lords, all the pressure, and people were starting to doubt whether we could pull this one off. And then Australia went back into bat and bowled out for 207 with the tail wagging, the tail wagging again and again. It's always Australia's tail wagging. It's such a big issue, I think, finishing the tail. I think if any team sort of tail wags, it's probably Australia's tail. I don't know what it is about Australia's tail and wagging, especially against Proteas. But I think it's something to think about for future matches. Just stopping the tail from actually making a lot of runs. And actually, Mitchell Starc ended up top scoring in the second innings. And the onus was on the team. The batting conditions were improving as the day went along. And finally, the guys were put into bat. Markram Rickleton started very nicely. Unfortunately, Rickleton edged one off Starc, and then Mulder came in. I thought Mulder was very poised. He played well. It was just unfortunate, how he went out. And about his role as the number 3, it's a bit of a contentious one. I know he's in the team as an all-rounder, which we kind of, fishing for all-rounders. Mutusami, we've got Janssen also as an all-rounder. Keshav was meant to be an all-rounder as well. I guess you could classify him as an all-rounder, but I think Mulder, obviously, I think they're trying to mold him to become like the new Cullis, but I think those are very big shoes to fill. Coming in at number 3, ultimate test was a lot of pressure, I think. But I think his bowling for performances were splendid. So it's definitely one to see moving forward. I'm not sure of him as number 3, but I think he's definitely deserving of a spot in the team. I think that number 3 position is something that is going to need to be experimented for some time until we actually get it right. So we actually chased it down after Mulder went out. Obviously Temba came in, and Temba played so well. My captain, played so well with an injury, hamstring injury, running around there hobbling for South Africa. Wow, yeah, it was great to watch. I think that day 3 was probably one of the best days ever in terms of South African cricket, when it mattered the most. Like the two guys that were at the crease were what South Africa needed. And then towards the end of the day, Bavuma made his 50, and Aiden made his century. And it was a nice touch that most of the Australian batsmen, most of the Australian players came to give him a greet towards the end of that day. That was very nice touch. Always classy guys. So that was really lovely to watch. And then, we wrapped it up on day 4. It was a bit nervy initially, when Bavuma went out. The nerves came in a little bit. Everyone was biting their nails. Polly had some words to say as well. Like, it's not over till it's over. But the guys pulled through, and Varian hitting the last runs with the covers. Even though he had nicked one, he had nicked one to Alex Carey, but Australia had no reviews left. I thought that was like very funny, poetic justice, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, it was great seeing them hit those winning runs, and all the stuff that ICC has been posting. All the celebrations. It's been like unbelievable. Like tears down the face. It's just a great occasion and great time. So yeah, that was amazing to see. I just want to break down basically from a few stats from when the cycles began, to see the top performers actually of the Proteas during that cycle. So it says most runs were scored by Temba Bavuma. He scored 711 runs. And the highest individual score was Ryan Rickleton. He made 259 against Pakistan at home. And then Temba Bavuma has made the most number of 50 plus scores. So 7 50 plus scores. Then the most hundreds was our wicketkeeper, Kyle Verreynne, with 3 hundreds. And the highest team total was 615 all out. I think this was played in Newlands. This is the same game that Rickleton made at 259. Then Dean Elgar, he had the highest average, which is 67. Bedingham had the most number of sixes, just 16. The most fours went to Aidan Markram, 91. And unfortunately, most ducks were Keshav Maharaj with 5 ducks. The most wickets was Kagiso KG Rabada, 65 wickets. Amazing feat. Best bowling figures went to Marco Jansen, 7 for 13 runs. It's impressive. Best bowling average was Nandre Berger, 16.92. Hopefully he got a medal as well as part of the team. Most catches, Aiden Markram, 20. Most dismissals, Kyle Verena, 39. So our wicketkeeper should. And the man of the match final obviously went to Aiden Markram. It was a bit of a contentious thing between Aiden Markram and KG, but I think the century was a match-winning performance, and basically no one else had a century in that match. So it was pretty obvious, I think, from the selectors, the people who had to choose the man of the match. So yeah, that was it, guys. This is how we won the World Test Championship for the first time. I read earlier on in the week about Herschel Gibbs saying that, congratulating the team Pavuma, but him saying that, the Holy Grail is kind of like limited overs ODI cricket, a World Cup for him. And I kind of agree, and I'll tell you why I agree. I think it's limited overs in general. I think limited overs cricket to get a World Cup, that I think would eclipse kind of this. And the main reason is because we've had the Mace before, even though it wasn't the same format. We've had the Mace before. We've seen that awesome team of Graeme Smith with Amla, Callis, Steyn. That team was, that team that chased down 414 in Australia. That team was electric. So we've had the Mace in our possession before, obviously not through this format, but I'd like to think that this can kickstart things for us to hopefully get that elusive Holy Grail that Herschel Gibbs talks about. But yeah, this has been a great introduction. This is Protea Pulse. Likes, subscribe, and look out for more episodes. Cheers.